Hi, my name is Lori Edmondstone and I am the upper PYP art educator here at ISNS. This is my third year here at ISNS. We have standalone units and integrated units. So our standalone units are focused, for example, grade 3, we work a lot on goals. They do personal goals and then also group goals. And then we also use the conceptual understandings of the homeroom to uncover and unpack key concepts. For example, in grade 4, they talk a lot about self-expression, but in here we are looking more at like how do artists get ideas, how do they express themselves. So it's a little different, but it's still integrated. And it's really exciting when kids come to class and we start talking like grade 3 with media and they're like, oh, we know this. And so when they start making those connections themselves, that's when it's really exciting. And you can see that they are understanding that transdisciplinary learning is happening. In PYP, we really believe that the child is the artist and this is their studio. Our classrooms are student-centered. We are more facilitators and supporters rather than the teacher has all the knowledge, I'm going to teach you all the skills. We use the studio habits of mind as a framework, and that was created by Nelson Goodman in 1967. He is a philosopher at Harvard University, and his whole dissertation was about thinking in and through the arts. So art isn't just about learning about art history and learning about skills. It's about how do we envision, how do we develop craft, how do we collaborate with one another, how do we reflect, and thinking like an artist. We get inspired by different things around us. So for example, grade 4, we are doing our unit on inspiration and where do artists find good ideas. So we did an activity where we just looked at stuff here. Like we look at this classroom all the time, but what's something in here that just like, ooh, I really love the color in that. I love Miss Lori's drawing up there. Just starting to stop and notice things. Observational drawing is very simple. Then we went and did a tour of grade 11 and 12, and we went to their studio spaces and we considered where do you think they get ideas from. We looked at how they're working, we looked at their process, and then they asked us artist questions. And then we talked about stealing like an artist. We talked about fan art. So how can you be inspired by characters or by a YouTuber that you're watching? And then how do we take key features of things and change it and make it our own? This unit's really about them finding their own voice and finding what materials they like. So we did like material stations where they had to go and do 4 different materials, because sometimes if you're doing watercolor and you blah blah put it on there and you're like, oh, it's a monster. You know, sometimes just messing around with the materials can give you the ideas. So we're really exposing them to many different ways that artists find ideas. And then their final product is going to be just any artwork that they want. Art is unique in that it intersects all disciplines. We do math in art. We do writing in art, we do literacy, we communicate ideas, we experiment, so that's your science. I mean, art really is that vein where you can really just explore different disciplines in a different way. And I think that, especially younger students, being able to build with their hands and visually see something, sometimes, especially for language learners, being able to have visuals to communicate ideas is really helpful for them. Art really gives us a way to creatively problem solve, definitely collaborating with others, also wrestling with ideas. So I think that it really builds those 21st century skills of critical thinking, collaborating, creativity,